Okay, Kwame, please start.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome to the SU in Employability session. Thank you for Career Service for inviting us to give this webinar. We are very happy to meet with all of you and share what we do in the SU for employability with you. So this is Ecem Yalçın talking. I'm sorry that we just had some technical difficulties with my webcam. I'm just not able to share my face with you. Unfortunately, I really got ready, but you can see Kwame and Carol joining me today. We can go to the next slide, please, Nolene. So I'm Ecem Yalçın. I'm the International Students Officer. I'm the International Students Officer, but this webinar is not solely based for international students. This is for what we do for employability for both international and home students as well. So please don't get confused that because I'm international students, it's like that. Today, Kwame is joining us. He's the General Secretary. Do you want to say hi, Kwame?
Yeah, hi.
And we also have Carol. She's the Activities and Development Officer.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming.
So today we'll be talking about 4 main things that we do in the SU. These are, we have Sustainability Fund, Society Supermarket, Project Lab, and Society's Enterprise Competition. So I'll just only briefly go over what they are like with 1 sentences, and Kwame and Carol will extend these topics for us. So Sustainability Fund is basically, so as part of the SU values, sustainability is something we really hold dear to our hearts. I know that it's both SU and our students are very passionate about it as well. And Students' Union has been participating in the NUS Green Impact Awards for years. So this fund is to help us embed the same values in our students and support them in their bid to create more impact and a more sustainable world. We know that both of our students and exec team, your 2020 and 21 exec team are very passionate about sustainability. That's why we came up with this fund. Society Supermarket is where societies are allocated a shelf which they will own and manage. So this will increase employability skills for our societies. We also have Project Lab, which Kwame will talk about, and this is the online space where companies can upload real-life projects for students to work on. And at the end, we'll talk about Society's Enterprise Competition in partnership with Masood. You probably had a webinar with them, and this focuses on developing a more business model. So we'll just try to extend these topics for you. We can go to the next slide, Nolene, please. Oh, okay, I talked about it. Next slide, please. Yeah.
So thank you very much. I'll just do an overall overview of a background of societies. So our student union is actually the largest in the UK in terms of societies. We have over 400 societies, and these societies are categorized into different groups. We have departmental or educational, we have recreational and sports, we have volunteering, we have faith, culture, and nationality, and we have arts and media. Societies that are very good, are a good way for you to meet people, to grow skills like entrepreneurship, which we are talking about, to just have fun and make your experience in the uni more memorable. So I'll let Kwame talk about our first initiative with Masood Entrepreneurship Centre, which is Society Supermarket. Kwame.
Yeah, thank you very much, Carol, for the introduction. So like Ecem said, my name is Kwame Asamoah, and I'm the General Secretary. So with my team this year, one thing that we looked at was, looking at how COVID has sort of impacted our graduates in terms of their job prospects. And then, some of them were finding it very hard to even gain internships and all that. And then we also look at the other side where most of our societies also, when it came to financial sustainability, they gaining the required monies that they want to run their societies was a challenge for them. So we sat and thought about, hey, so then why don't we create something that can sustainably support our societies financially, whilst also giving them the business and entrepreneurial skills that they can put on their CV to enhance their employability. So that was the basis for which we developed the societies supermarket. That's why we developed this societies supermarket idea. So the whole idea is that we have, like I said, we have 400 societies. Now, what we'll do is that we are going to have create a shelf, an online shelf for all of them. So we have all the shops there for them. And then what they would do is to come up with something that they could sell. So it could be a designed hoodie for the society. It just could even be, how do we call it? It could be bottles that you want to sell. It could be anything. So the whole idea of you selecting the right product is all part of the skills, knowing the right product selection, doing the right pricing and all that. This one gives you the chance to be able to practice all of them. So what the SU is doing is to create that online platform for all this to happen. And thankfully, we have what we call the Student Union Management System, which we'll be launching in May, which will have the shop where all the societies will have the shelf and then the store to be able to sell what they want. And then I think that, like Carol and Ejam said, we already have a partnership with Masood Entrepreneurship Centre. And so they will provide the business advisory support for all our societies who would like to sell something on the shop. So let's say if you want to have an idea of how the product selection is going to be, then that one you would have them provide you with the support that you want. Maybe you want to come up with your own innovative delivery system for the product you are selling, then they can also provide you with the advice that you want. But then we want you to go through that whole entrepreneurial experience from the start to the end, so that you face the challenge, you seek for the support, and then you are able to find a solution to it, because they are all part of the process. So it is not like we haven't developed the whole solution for you. We want you to be part of that whole process, face your challenge, find the support, which we are going to provide that support, but I want you to come to us, ask of the support that you want. Yeah, things like that, so that by the time you are done, you understand what it means to be an entrepreneur, you understand what it means to manage your finances, you understand what it means to do product selection. Like maybe even when you fail your customer, how do you deal with it? And all these ones become like a platform where you get the chance to do your try and error, so that by the time you are done and you go out of school, it becomes very easy for you to be able to quickly adapt to the business aspect of the system. So if you can move to the next slide, please. Good. So how is it going to work? So like we have done this roadmap, which is like a tentative sort of structure that should give you an idea of how we would like the society's supermarket to run. So first we look at the product to sell. So the society really needs to have a product to sell. And before you can do that, we are looking at, let's say, each society having one representative, where that person becomes like a business manager, and then that person will find maybe their committee, so that they can have somebody in charge of marketing, somebody in charge of the finances, somebody in charge of all the other sort of sub positions that you can create, so that you guys can develop like a business proposal, which we, again, the SU will give you a small format and all that. It's just going to be something very small. But then we just want to take you through the entrepreneurial journey. So we help you develop the business process. So you will decide what you want to sell, how you want to sell it, how do you want to do the delivery, how do you assure customers of quality, how do you do your pricing to make sure you are competitive and all that. And I'm sure everything that you're going to sell is not just going to be sold to your society members, but it will be, we the SU are using a platform to expose your product even outside of the student union, so that you can get a lot more people buying and all that. So secondly, so we look at you having your business proposal, you've agreed on what to sell. Then we now come to the procurement of the product that you want to sell. So the SU can help with that. Again, you guys are the business managers. So if you still think you have other better places to source for your product, again, that discussion can also happen. Then you come to branding. So how do you brand your product? Again, that is also going to be another section that we can provide you with the support on. But this one is to just give you the idea that without branding, your product may not necessarily stand out. And so going through that whole process of creating a brand for your shop, creating a good brand for your products and all that, it's going to be another interesting tasks that your team managers would have to perform. Then we are also looking at sales in the supermarket. So you are done with your branding, you've purchased your products and everything. It means you have to sell. So we have the platform, so we can manage the back end for you. All you have to do is to upload, let's say, the pictures, the price, and all those kind of things of the product on the system so that we can now make it very visible. However, we can help you generate links that can help your marketing manager in your team to be able to also market the product elsewhere, because you should be able to market a product, even though we have the platform sort of exposing the product to every other person around the world, if I'll put it that way. Yeah, so then we now come to profit. In fact, the profit is all yours, just that you are using a platform. So there may be some small transactional cost that goes with what you're selling. So yeah, definitely the profit is going to be yours. We've put 80% of society, 20% here, but then these are things that, again, you can negotiate with us as a society. And we're actually even looking at ways of also ensuring that we can provide the seed funding for all our societies so that it can give them the kickstart. So they don't need to say, go and find money elsewhere. We can give them the seed money first, then they can now find how do we allow this money to multiply. Everything would be as a result of how you manage your shop. So again, we can provide you with all the advisory services that you would require to do that. Again, if you sell, you have your money, the question that somebody will ask is that where does my money go? So we have a finance department within the student union that will handle all the monies for you. And all our societies have an account. They have like a bank account with our society's team. So what we are looking at is how all your sales on your money and other things will be transferred to that account. So it makes it easy for us to manage it for you. And your society leaders also already have access to that account to use the money to do whatever they want to use it to do. So you have your monthly reconciliation. So the whole idea is that you would want to cross-check. And that's what in business we do. You have to cross-check what you think you sold to what you think the SU, the records the SU have, so that all of you will be on the same page. And this is something, again, that happens in business. So it would be good to also incorporate that process, as part of it. And then again, we are looking at every society. I think Carol is the best person to even tell us around how societies change hands every single year. And so we will now also be looking at how can we ensure that the business that you are doing today, your next team, you're able to pass it on to your next team, and also that they can continue on with it. So this is just like, a pictorial view of how we expect the whole, supermarket to function, which we find very, very, very exciting. So please, can we move on to the next slide? Good. So I guess somebody will ask that, what are the benefits? What are the benefits for me to sort of first become a part of the society in the student union, which Carol have already explained the importance of being a member of the society. Then now to be able to experience, to be part of this society, to experience the business aspect of it that can build my skills. So we are looking at the soft skills that you can gain as a student, joining the management of your society's shop, for example. So first, your ability to take risk, because even selecting the right product is a risk take, because you can select a product that won't sell. You can select one that will sell. And so taking risk in terms of even managing customers' expectation, what you tell the customer and what you actually deliver in practice, all of them allows you to be able to take risk, allows you to be able to manage your risk and all those guys. So these are soft skills that usually you don't get anybody to sit you down in class to teach you. And then negotiation, you'll be doing a whole lot of negotiation with the student union because we provide a platform. You are doing your selling. Aside that, you may also be negotiating with your product suppliers as well. So, and all that. So all these are skills that you're able to gain. In fact, you can even negotiate with your own team as well, because selecting the product, somebody will be like, oh, I think Coca-Cola will sell. This person, no, I think hoodies will sell. I think this, and your ability to negotiate to make sure everybody is moderately happy, because most times it's not everybody that's going to be happy with what you agree on, but everybody buying into the idea is also a soft skill that you can gain. And leadership skills, because the business manager managing the team is supposed to demonstrate leadership to be able to ensure that the whole team members are very happy with what they are doing. So these are all things that you learn: communication, managing proactiveness, and all that. You know, managing a business, if you're not proactive to ensure looking at what is happening in the external environment, to make sure that you are adapting your business practices to suit what is happening in the environment, it makes you very proactive. And so these are some of the soft skills that you tend to get many more. And then we're also looking at how you rediscover your hidden passion. So I'm sure Carol, I don't know whether I could say that, but I'm sure, you know, Carol is someone who likes dancing, for example, but is an architect also on the other hand. And then you could look at, if we're able to give, if Carol gained a platform to be able to demonstrate the dancing skill, and she's loved it so much that maybe she can look at, oh, why don't I actually look at dancing as my profession instead of the architecture? So realize that this business, managing it and taking risks, something that can really excite you, can actually let you know you actually this business manager you never thought you were. You know, so it can really help you rediscover yourself, to really identify. So again, we are just providing a platform for you to rediscover yourself and really know who you really are and what you really love. Sometimes it's very difficult for us to know. And then you have the blended learning experience as well. So you are doing something in practice, and then you also go to class to also learn something. So you are able to ask practical questions, because you are managing a society shop where you are facing practical challenges. So it helps you to be able to ask practical questions. It helps you to be able to consult with some of the your lecturers who are providing the theoretical understanding of certain things. So that is what we mean by the blended learning experience. And it also boosts your confidence, because when you are done with school and then you go to the job market, sometimes it can be very terrifying when you are now going to meet this whole corporate culture and you don't know how, oh, like, you know, how do I develop a proposal? How do I talk to a customer? Everything becomes very terrifying. But then you would have already done your try and error with the society supermarket. So it gives you a boost to be able to enter the corporate world with some sort of confidence. And then, you know, practical working experience, because this is something you are actually going to do selling, you are going to do product selection, you make some revenue, you may be increasing your revenue in monthly. These are all things that you can actually sort of state in your CV as an actual experience that you've had, which can boost your experience after school, and again, enhance your ability to get a job. Now, how about societies? So I'm sure we are talking to you as individuals, but we are pretty sure when we are done, you prefer to join most of our societies. So your society is just going to gain a financial sustainability that they require. So they will be able to get that consistent revenue that they want. We are looking at new leadership positions. I'm sure some of you may not be joining certain societies because you think, oh, it doesn't have this business aspect that I really want to harness. But then now you can develop the business management part. So if you're somebody that is really interested in enhancing your entrepreneurial skills, you can now join the society and say, hey, I'm actually interested in helping you manage your shop, you know. So then that becomes a chance for you to get that. And then again, consistent funding for charity-based society. So some of you are also very volunteer, like you are driven to do volunteering work. You are also driven to do charity work, and sometimes gaining funding to do that can be a challenge, and you raise funds. So we are looking at this also becomes a platform to be able to sell things consistently, so that the money that you get, you can use for the charity work that you do. Again, when you join some society, or you can create your own society, which I'm sure Carol will talk about. After listening to all this and you feel excited about it, then you can now also be able to use this as a platform to raise funds for most of the things you want to do. So next slide, please. Yeah, again, I think I don't want to talk about this one. Like also, this one is just highlighting the benefit that it provides for the Students' Union. It allows us to even use much more of our funds for other aspects of events that students actually want us to do, because then societies now can have this aspect of their funding. It actually also helps us to feel much more confident in our societies that they'll be able to do some of the things that they want, even when finance become a constraint. So it actually makes us feel much more. And for us, it fulfills our whole mission for the Student Union to be run by students for students. So you see, if you are the one selling things at the society's supermarket, you are the one deciding what is sold in the Student Union. And then students will also buy what they love. You get there to be able to buy what you love. Yeah. And I think I don't want to talk about that of the university, because I think it's very obvious. It allows, it boosts the university's image, in terms of gaining, having provided platforms like this for all their students. Yeah, things like that. So next slide, please. I think we should be done by now. Yeah, so thank you very much. And yeah, I'm sure, like Ejam said, if you have questions, you can write them down. And when we are done with the presentation, then you can ask us and we can provide you the responses. So over to you, Carol.
Thank you very much, Kwame. I think you've done a very good introduction to societies. I don't think I need to add anything else. But just to reiterate on why employability is so big in the SU, we believe that your experience in this university is not just going to class and doing well in class. You also need to build these other skills that will be very helpful in future. That is why we are really keen on employability. And just in the same line with the society supermarket, we have the society's enterprise competition. This is also in partnership with Masood Entrepreneurship Centre. And this is basically giving opportunities for groups to put their business ideas into action, or to test their business ideas, because you never know what a business idea that you have right now can do in future for the world, because we're also thinking about the impact that you want to make in the world as students from Manchester. So society's enterprise competition gives societies an opportunity to do that. And right now we are working on a pilot program, which will be starting in June. But before that, I'll just like to say that this will be an annual competition. So societies are able to win a cash prize that they'll be able to undertake the project if the project wins. So basically it's about societies coming up with a plan, a business proposal, an idea, and they will be helped by Masood, who are going to give support in terms of how do you make a business plan? How do you come up with a proposal? How do you choose a product? How do you make sure that you have maximum impact with your idea? So that will be done by Masood, and they're willing to work with the societies throughout until they're able to take the project to completion. So societies will be able to pitch their project ideas, and this will be judged by Masood, SU, and external judges. So it's a serious thing. So you can imagine the lessons that we can get from it. And then we'll also be aligned to a new end of year award category for most enterprising society. I think all of us like to win awards. No one would say no to an award. So I think it's a good incentive for societies to take part in this. So I'd urge you to, if you are not in a society, please join a society. This is something that will be very pivotal when you get out of uni, because you'll be able to even create employment. We're not just talking about people who will be employees in the outside world, but you're able to create employment for other people and I think that is a way that you can make greater impact. Next slide, please. Yeah, so I won't dwell much on this because I think Kwame has covered a lot of that when he was talking about benefits from society's enterprise competition. But just to touch on a few, so we are encouraging more students to participate in enterprise learning and to grow in their entrepreneurial journey, to take part in competitions. Personally, I'm a dancer and I've been in competitions, and competitions actually take you out of your comfort zone. They push you to do better. So that is the reason why we have the competition, and that is why we are naming it as a competition, not just an initiative, because it pushes you to think better, to think more, to have that spirit of competition. I'm sure most of you have been in teams, even in terms of sports. Like when you're in a competition, there's that spirit of you want to do this. You are a team. You see, it's also improving teamwork, such that when you're going out there in your CV, you can even write that up. have worked well in a team. We've been able to accomplish this. We came up with an idea, we took part in a competition, and we won this amount of money. So that works well for your CV. It's also that to increasingly develop more entrepreneurship mindsets, because when we come here to school, we are more of, okay, let's study and then go out there. But why not, let me study, but on the side, let me learn about how to run a business, because truth be told is businesses run the world. So having that mindset will make you stand out among your colleagues. And then we also want to increase the involvement and incidence of women and international students in developing ideas and startup businesses. So we are also making this very inclusive. We want everyone to take part in this. Even if your idea is about maybe improving the lives of women, if it's about improving the lives of the underprivileged communities, all these ideas are welcome. We want to build on that, because the SU is also it's diverse. We believe in equality and inclusion. Next slide, please. So yeah, I had started talking about the timeline. So pilot program will be happening in June 2021. We are selecting a few societies for this trial period to see how this works. And then we'll be able to open up this and scale it up to all societies. Because I had told you, we have more than 400 societies. You can't just go in and start with 400 societies. So we have to do that trial period. And then funding will be provided. As I speak right now, funding has already been provided for the few societies that will be doing the pilot program. And they'll be able to do this beginning of September and end their project in November. I will also want to mention that we are not only looking at how much profits the societies are making, we're also looking at how much social impact, because it's not just about money and money and money, but what are you actually doing for the community using your idea. So we are welcoming all ideas across the board, but we want to encourage people to think outside the box. But we also have some teams which are leading, so that in case a society is stuck, you can actually lead them and say, okay, you can come up with an idea on membership, how to improve membership. Because I think COVID has taught us really well. We've learned a lot of lessons from COVID, and membership has had like a big blow. But that is something that we can leverage on and see. So COVID happened. How are we able to improve our membership next year or in the years to come? Then we also have such themes as accessibility, because we want this to be open to everyone. We want everyone to partake in this, because we believe that if all of us are able to learn a thing or two, and then we go out into the world, then we can bring great impact, even just as University of Manchester students. Then the other one is on sustainability. Sustainability is quite big. I'll talk about it in the sustainability fund, but this is something that we're also pushing, like the world is changing. What are we doing to make change? So yes, please join our society if you haven't joined, but take in mind what we've talked about, and be that person who comes up with that idea. Be that person who is part of that team that is going to create change in the world. Thank you very much. I think that's the last bit of the enterprise competition. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Carol. And I think you see the interesting thing is how we've been trying to embed into entrepreneurship and enterprise in society. So one is that sustainable day-to-day thing that societies could use, which was the society supermarket. And Carol also highlighting that major project that will be happening like every year, where societies can compete for a particular fund. And for me, I was even looking at, we earn the fund, we can actually invest it in our society supermarket to be able to make sure our shop becomes big and all that. So at least you can look at both. So thank you so much, Carol. So the other thing that we want to look at is the project lab. And again, this idea came about again with COVID, and then with the fact that we have students that have this unconventional way of thinking. And then sometimes, sitting in class doesn't allow you to sort of explore that kind of thinking. And so we felt that, okay, so then why don't we actually partner with companies and businesses around the world, and then the challenges that they are facing, they could give students the chance to be able to try out their ideas as to how they can solve some of those challenges. So then what happens is that, again, you, the student, you get the chance to try your hands on a real life problem of a particular organization. And then imagine if you're able to provide an idea that works. It becomes something that you can really feel proud about because you're able to solve a real life problem. And again, it also allows you to be able to engage with all the resources that you have in the university. Again, your lecturers, you'll be able to engage with them, ask them more practical questions. You can go to the library, use the library very well because you have a problem you are working on and you need more information. So Project Lab basically is connecting the business side with the challenges that they have. They convert it into a project, and then the students, have a platform where that project will be deposited so that our students can now work with you can be an individual or you can form a team to be able to work on this challenge. So that working on this challenge means that sort of exchanging ideas or sort of connecting with the business, and then also connecting with the resources that you have as a student of the University of Manchester to be able to solve this problem. So basically, that is what Project Lab is all about. So first, how are we going to go about it? Yeah, so the businesses that will deposit their challenge, convert their challenge into a problem and deposit it, we'll call them the project owners. And I'm sure those who know project management have a little idea of that. So we'll have them as the project owners. And then you and your team will be the project team to work on that particular problem. Yeah, so you just have to design a solution to the challenge that has been put there so that you can now pitch it to the company. And so one thing is that it's not going to be just you alone, it's going to be other people that are interested in that specific project. So it means you go to the dashboard, you have different projects there. Everybody will select the one that they are interested in. And then when you develop your solution, you pitch it to the business and they will select the one that works for them. Yeah, so basically that is how it is. So if you can move to the next slide, please. Yeah, so like I was saying, so you have the project owner, they will upload the project. So this is supposed to be the business that has a challenge that requires solution. And then the student project team. So this one, it could be the team. We would encourage you to always do things as a team. You'll be able to get different expertise and different thinking. So maybe you could be in humanities. You can get maybe an engineering student on board. You can get somebody at the Faculty of Medicine and Health on board. And the diverse way of looking at things can actually help you come up with something that is a bit more unconventional. So the team will register their interest to work on the project. So like we say, more than one team can register for this. So it's very important when they upload the project, you go and register your interest for it. And then, the project owner and the team can now meet to maybe have a briefing, because even though you may have a summary of what the challenge is about, again, we want to create that experience for you to be able to meet with the business organization and have a discussion with them, because there may be some clarification that you want, there may be some extra details that you want. So that whole interaction is also a skill that you tend to also learn. Then the team will now have to come and develop a project schedule and also and commence the projects. So, I mean, when you have been able to meet with the project owner, getting the clarification and all that, you now have the chance to develop your project schedule, how you want to start the project and the timelines and everything, so that you can now, you can start. So you realize that the second is presenting a solution. So when you are done with your everything, you have to meet the project owner and present your solution to them. And we really want that one to be like maybe a PowerPoint presentation, or it could be any other form of presentation, but presenting it like either a face-to-face or by Zoom, or we don't know how things are going to be when next academic year starts. Yeah, so then you do a presentation to the team. Then the project owner will select their preferred solution. So basically, this is just like, a pictorial view of how we expect the system to work. It hasn't started yet. We are now developing the platform. So when the platform is ready, we'll certainly market it to students to really take advantage of it. So if you can move to the next slide, please. Yeah, so again, what is the benefit? I guess the benefit is not different from what Caro and I have talked about in the two earlier presentation. So it gives you that blended learning experience. So you are working on a real life problem. So it means that you're experiencing the practical aspects of a particular situation, and then you also experience the theoretical aspect in class. And so you're able to know what happens in a corporate, or how things really work, and then how you can even ask much more practical questions in class. And again, rediscovering your true passion, because this one is not going to be saying that, okay, the problem that has been put there is a business problem, and so it's meant for only business students. No. So this one, the whole idea is to allow anybody to be able to work on any project. So you can be an engineering person, and then you will be looking at, no, I think I can find a particular solution for this business related, this HR problem. So you just go in there, and by the time you are done, you realize that, oh, actually, I think I have much more passion for HR in addition to the engineering that I am studying. So it's going to really help, discover our true passion that we have. And we have people that are doing humanities who also program as a hobby. So they can develop websites as a hobby. That is not humanities role, but it is something that they also have as a passion aside of it. So they can put that also into practice. So you realize this is open to everybody to be able to try their hands on any project and then just see where it sends them to. And again, it builds your confidence, because imagine if you're able to work on a real life problem that has worked for a particular real life company. Your confidence is going to be very boosted when you are done with school and then you are going to apply for a job, or even when you get employed. You are more confident doing the job. You are not scared because you've been able to interact with the corporate world to see how things really work. And again, you gain the soft skills and the practical training that you require. So again, interacting with the business, even designing a PowerPoint presentation alone is a skill that you are usually not taught in class. So this one exposes you to be able to start thinking about, okay, so how do I even develop my PowerPoint presentation? How do I make it much more effective? How do I make it communicate the exact aim that I want to achieve? How am I able to convince people using words? How can I convince people with my voice? All these are soft skills that you are able to gain when you become part of when you take advantage of this project lab, and many more. And I think all these are part of all the other experiences that we have shared. So please, next slide. Yeah, so I think I am done. So like I said, this one is the platform would be ready soon. When it's ready, we'll market it so that all of you can take advantage of it. So please keep an eye on the SU social media site and also with the career service, because we'll be partnering with them to expose this one. And I think with the Society Supermarket, I forgot to tell you that we're also developing a platform as well, which we are hoping would be ready before the academic year comes to an end as well. So thank you very much. So over to Carol again.
Thank you so much, Kwame. So what we are going to talk about is Sustainability Fund. I just mentioned that sustainability is in the heart of the Student Union. Ejem had mentioned about it. Everything we do has to be sustainable, from our procurement processes to installation of heat pumps in our building, to the projects that students undertake. We have projects like Want Not West, which are solely sustainability. And so in that line, we've been able to get £50,000 for the Sustainability Fund. I think that was a big win for sustainability in the union this year. And so with this, we are welcoming students to come up with projects on sustainability and apply for this funding. So it's open to all students. You don't have to worry about being a home student, international student, undergrad, postgrad, PGR. It's open for all students, so long as you have an idea that is itching and you really want to do it, but you don't have the money to do so. So we've set up, we are setting up the website where we'll be able to, with the web page where you'll be able to apply for funding. So this should be ready by end of May. And basically, it's just about helping us to make greater impact outside there. And in that line also, we have jobs that are related to environment and sustainability. Myself, I did a master's in international development, but my focus was environment, climate change, and development. So if I was applying for this fund, if I had an idea, I'd apply for this fund and be able to undertake a project from start to completion. And then when I go out there, when I'm meeting my employers, I can actually tell them, this is what I did. This is, I studied this, and this is what I applied, and these are the results. You see, that makes you more credible to your employer, and that even makes you now even want to start other projects apart from being employed. I can go out there and identify a problem in the environment and be able to do something about it. Because I believe that if one person does something, I think that adds up to what we can do for the world. Sometimes it's hard to do things in groups, or we cannot do things as the whole world together. It starts with us. It starts with you. So you don't have to have done environmental studies. No, you just need to have an idea, of how we want to make change in matters environment and sustainability. So the fund will provide up to a maximum of £500 to an individual or team, because we want as many teams, as many people as possible to partake of the £50,000. So it will be dependent on the scope of the project. So how large, how wide, what is your impact? Again, you'll be coming up with a project proposal where you give the benefits of your project, how you're going to carry it out, and yeah, it's a whole process. The whole procedure is in the webpage. We shall be sharing that soon, but that is something that is being worked on right now, and I believe this can bring change, and people can feel that they can do more for the environment rather than make policies. I know we go to class and make policies, whether it's financial that affects our environment or whether it's environmental that affects the environment. But if we are able to actually put this in practice or put this into test, because this platform gives you that leeway to test an idea. Outside might be hard to test an idea because you're constrained by your employer or by the laws of the land and all that. But here we are giving that platform for you to test your idea, see it to completion, learn from it, even teach others about it. Because I can imagine in a society scenario, imagine the lessons that everyone can learn from such an idea or such a project. So please, if you're able to come up with an idea of if you and friends or the society have an idea, please apply for this grant. It's going to make a very huge difference. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, I won't reiterate more on benefits, but just to mention that this will also contribute to your Stellify scores, because you'll be able to tell us what you've done in the project, how much time you've used in the project, which goes into the hours you put on Stellify, and you'll be able to even win awards using this, and you'll be able to use Stellify in your CV. I think most of you may know the benefits of Stellify. So in that line also, we are working with a postgrad officer. I know Stellify is mostly undergrad. We are working with a postgraduate officer to set up a Stellify sort of initiative for postgraduate students also, because we have interest from postgraduate students, but they don't have an incentive. Stellify acts as an incentive for undergrads. So we are working for postgrad students also. Then you become part of the champions around the world. I won't reiterate that more, because the world needs some change, and it starts with you and me. So this is the beginning of that. Then it's also a practical achievement to add to your CV. I've mentioned that. And you have the bragging rights. Your project will be on our website. You can always go back there. If you're telling someone about what you've done, you can just refer them or send them a link. Oh, I'm here, I'm in the university website. I'm in the University of Manchester students website. And then you also have the ability to use your project for the Make a Difference Awards. Make a Difference Awards is an award by the uni which awards those people who've made an impact in the community. Could be a student, an alumni, staff, or any external stakeholder. So if you have this project and you're able to present it and have your impacts well written, I think it's a good opportunity, and it's also a good thing to add on to your CV. You want to Make a Difference awards, and that is something that we need. The world needs right now, someone who can make a difference, and this is the beginning. So apply for the Sustainability Fund, come and learn, and let's all learn, because we're also learning in this. So come, let's hold our hands together and be that difference that the world needs. Thank you very much. Over to you, AJ.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kwame and Carol. I'll never forget what Carol just said. The world needs a change right now, and that change starts with you, with me. I'll really never forget that sentence for the rest of my life from now, Carol. So thank you guys so much. And I believe these are very informative, and these are really very great way to enhance our employability skills, either by doing it as a team or by ourselves. So I would encourage everyone who are listening to us right now, we'll be sharing that with our students as well. We'll be sharing this recording in our social medias. I know it will be on YouTube as well. So I'd encourage everyone to keep an eye on these opportunities. These opportunities are for all international home students, postgraduates, undergraduates. These are all for you. But as an international student myself, I would like to say that I believe it's really important for our international students as well, because I know from my experience that it might be very challenging to find a job, especially now within these circumstances. And this is a very great way to enhance your employability. So thank you, Kwame and Carol, and thank you for joining us. Please put your questions in the questions area if you have any questions. We'll wait a few minutes for your questions and we are happy to answer.
Thanks for such a great and informative session. I really enjoyed that. And I think there are so many different activities for students to get involved in, really to increase their employability, have something to say on their CV, but also to employers. You know, there are so many different ranges of opportunities as well. So I think there's something there to suit everybody. And I would encourage you to take this opportunity to put a question in the questions area. If you've got anything right now, because we've got Kwame, we've got Carol, we've got Echem, and they're here to answer your questions. The first one is around competitions. How easy is this to access if you're not in the UK? So you've mentioned for international students. How easy is this for them to get involved in if they're not back in the UK?
So I think we are in an area where everything is online, so anyone can participate from wherever you are. So comms will be going through our emails. Of course, you can meet with your society online, you can brainstorm on ideas online. So actually there is no limitation. Anyone can participate in this. I hope I've answered the question.
Yeah, that's great. And are these competitions, is it a single or group scenario? So if you wanted to do this as a group with friends, is that possible?
So right now we are working with societies. You have to be in a society for you to be part of to take part in the competition, because it's easier managing, and we're able to work with a society throughout the process from beginning to the end.
Brilliant. And so does a student have to be on the society board, or can they just be a member of a society that want to take part with other members? So they're not a treasurer or president or vice president. Is that possible?
Yes, it's about members actually. It's just that the communication goes to the leaders, because that is how we communicate, but all members are welcome to take part in the competition. Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. So that really opens it up then for students to get involved. So they're not relying on the society to kind of grant them the ability to do it. They can do it themselves, but they just need to be a member of a society. And I know one of the questions that students have been asking around societies, because we know membership has been affected, is what are the benefits of being a member of a society, especially now, during COVID times, and how does this benefit them in the longer term?
So yeah, I agree that we've been affected, and it's very sad that it has happened during the whole year from last year to right now. But I still believe societies are very important, whether it's pandemic area or not, because I've had testimonials from society members who feel that even their mental health has improved by just being in a society, because you are able to meet others, you're able to go into online activities which improve your mental health, you're able to talk to others, because societies provide that platform where you can know someone. So if I know someone and we've created that friendship, then I'm able to talk to them, even in times where everything is passive. I know when everything is active, we're able to meet, we're able to have fun and have some cheer and all that. But during a pandemic, those friendships are still important. Those online activities are still important to students. You cannot say that they have a small role. No, they've had a big role in our societies. So it's still important to be in a society. Plus, when you're in a society, also we have all these initiatives that societies are taking part in, whether online or not. So if you're able to be part of that, then you'll be learning even during a pandemic.
Yeah, to add to that,
yeah.
Sorry, to add to that and give an example, for example, I have been enrolled in societies, many societies, a lot in my all university life for 3 years. And right now I can say that my best friends from the university is the ones that I met in one of the societies. So just to give an example that like, it's really important to have that friendship from the society because you have the same interest basically. Also, I know that right now most of the societies are doing a lot of online events. So even though they don't meet face to face, there are a lot of opportunities still out there. So I would encourage everyone to either contact the societies, add them on their Facebook, Instagram, and check what their activities are.
And I wanted to add that, like Carol said, I think Nolan, when he asked the question around, do they have to be members of societies before they can enjoy some of these things we've talked about? Yes. So you see, it was for 2 of the projects. We have the 2 other projects that you don't need to be a member of a society to be able to also take part in. So the project lab, for example, you don't need to be part of a society. It can be you as an individual or you forming a team to be able to sort of partake in that. So, and then we also have the sustainability fund, for example. Again, it can be you coming up with your own project to get a funding, or it can be you with a team. So we presented the ones that you need to be part of a society to do, and we have the other one that you don't necessarily need to be part of a society to do. But I guess like what we were saying, there is a huge benefit to be part of a society too. And then I think Carol and Mejam have enumerated that. But then you can also have this in addition to the benefit that you gain from being a member of the society. Yeah.
Brilliant. And I was going to say as well, from an employability perspective, being a member of a society gives you access to a network. I mean, we talk about making connections with people, and the society gives you access to programs like the competitions, but also these individuals who are members of the society, because it's all year groups, isn't it? It could be in a company you want to work in a year or two even, and give you open doors for you. And as well, employers, academic performance is obviously important, but it's not the be all and end all. It's employers want to see that you've made the most of your time at university, whether online or in person, and getting involved in the likes of societies does look favorably on you. Because they can see that you're, being a member of society shows that you're networking, shows that you're active, shows that you have outside interests. Help me here if I'm not coming up with them all. But it gives you a skill, you gain skills, you gain access to competitions, you create this global network. It's so many benefits. And I think, a lot of students are missing that face-to-face activity. But I think sometimes you've got to think about the bigger picture, like you were saying, Carol. You are the change. And societies are crucial in that. And I think that kind of membership, you have to look at the bigger picture and think, how is this going to work for me, but also how am I going to work for others? Because you might be that person in 5 years' time somebody calls upon for help or advice or guidance. And societies are fundamental in that, I think.
Yes, but you put it very well, Nolene, actually. Thank you.
It's okay. I was a member of a few societies myself when I was at university, so I can definitely see the benefit. I was a member of cultural societies, but also sporting clubs, and I think, you know, it does give you, and I'm still in contact with those people now, and you know, I can see the range of organizations and careers they all have now, and the activities they get involved in. It's brilliant.
Exactly.
And yeah, and you'll make friends for life. I mean, that goes without saying, doesn't it? You know, you'll meet people who are like-minded and make friends for life. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, guys. We've come up to 12 o'clock, and I think we've learned so much about what the Students' Union are offering, and the benefits of getting involved in all of these activities and how it can help you longer term. So if you've any questions, HM, Carol and Kwame's contact details are there. So, you know, do reach out, and if you can, getting lots of questions around how and when can I register with the Project Lab. So if you've got those questions, Jaafan, you can email. Who's the best person to email about the Project Lab?
I think that would be Kwame.
Yeah,
Kwame.
I can send the email to any of the three of us. We'll be able to provide you.
Yeah, and
Yes,
just email, and they can give you more details.
Yeah, we speak on a daily basis. So if you email me, that's basically the same for emailing Kwame and Carol as well. So don't worry about it.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, we're getting lots of thank yous, so thank you so much for the session, guys. And it has been recorded, and what we're creating a flyer which will have links to all of the sessions as part of the International Connections Conference recordings, which will be on YouTube and Bilibili for those of you in mainland China. So we'll get this out there, and you'll all be able to access it, and the Students' Union will share it as well. So thank you so much for this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.